Ladies and Germans, how you all doing? This is Con Ulrich.
And I'm Rangru, low, low, low.
And folks, today on Harashasha, we continue our trend this week of inviting in some new friends. Now, Rang, who is this new friend I'm talking about?
On left hand side in blue, we have Romanian Cemetery playing as Romanian 4th Mountain Division with a flatline income. And on the right hand side, we have Finzent playing as 358th with a Vanguard income.
So this, I think, is the debut of the Romanians on our respective channels here.
Yep.
So this obviously isn't Group Hardneck. This is not the Hungarians. What do the Romanians bring to the fray?
The Romanians are pretty alright. The 4th Mountain is pretty much a standard infantry division. They got regular infantry, and then they got more elite mountain troops. They got some Panzer IVs, some decent artillery, some decent anti-tank. Nothing really all that crazy, but some fun captured stuff, and
yes,
the infantry is overall pretty. It's not amazing, but it's not terrible either. It's just it's all right, but they get a lot of it.
Now, just to kind of get to see where we have the Rakuti, for example, we have what, a couple of submachine guns. Oh my god, a 2830, a ZB30. Oh my god, this stuff is like 30 years old.
Yeah. Yeah, the infantry equipment is kind of all over the place. But then you got these sniper team, yeah. And that's 2 sniper rifles and a 5-man squad. So, the Romanians like snipers. They really like snipers from what I've noticed. One of the Romanian divisions have an infantry unit, like a regular infantry unit, that has a goddamn sniper rifle. Which is pretty good.
Well, we have the ZSU over here that's going to cause a heck of a lot of an issue for those poor Ju-87s.
Yeah.
Again, Ju-87s, amazing the Spanish-American War, much less positive now.
Yeah, at 2 Star M17, holy crap, I was not expecting it to be that good. I mean, it's definitely a ballsy maneuver, you only get 1 per card at 2 Star Veterancy in A phase, but for the price and for the opener, it works.
It certainly does, we're seeing that happen right now. Part of me is kind of laughing, but the kind of almost haphazard way that there are certain kind of commando units being brought in here. Excuse me, Raider. I always forget the new terminology for that. But the Pioneers are actually pretty good. Shockingly enough.
The submachine gun is a good submachine gun, like for the Finnish run, where it has a 150-meter range. But yeah, they got the MG, they got the satchel charger or grenade bundles, so it's not all that bad. But we've seen quite a bit of air power here. I mean, this is another Ju-87, but coming in up north where it's a little less contested in anti-air.
Taking a sniper team. So I was watching down to the south as we had these unfortunate group of Romanians, let's call them Hungarians. Romanians caught behind enemy lines in a noose of Strelkis and a Grupa Sakist.
Bless you.
I'm butchering the language, exactly. I apologize again whenever I try to do that. I just prefer not to try to throw on like a a Tennessee drawl and be like Zachitsky or something like that. It just doesn't really work.
I mean, there's so many goddamn countries in this game. It's hard to keep up with all the pronunciations.
But IL-2 coming down here to go after the Ju-87. My expectation is the Ju-87, he might get 1 gun run. Oh, no he doesn't. He goes down in his single dive. He will never pull out of that one. Yeah,
Finzent's doing a pretty damn good job of shooting down those Ju-87s before they can really do much damage, and he's got pretty good air power with his Yak-7 and IL-2 flying about, so maybe he can use that to great effect to start strafing the Romanian positions.
Well, the Yaks are certainly helping there, I'll tell you that much. Also, not for nothing, but I feel like we don't see actually a whole lot of the Grupa Stachitsky. I feel like that's not really a card that we're going to see very often.
No. I actually completely forgot what they are. But
those are the flame troops, and they have machine guns, and they're assault troops, pure and simple.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, okay, those things. Oh yeah, because they changed the machine gun to the DT instead of a DP.
Yes.
As one of the patch note things. It's like a big chunky gun.
I was also mildly amused. This probably goes back a couple of weeks here. I remember seeing a recent post that was talking about the 20 mil being one of the most deadly anti-tank pieces around. Unfortunately, not helping him out over here in the center against those 2 T-60s, and again, not even able to help out his ground attack plane either. So the skies are being cleared of Romanian aces today, which is rather unfortunate for their war effort.
Yeah, this is a pretty good push here so far from Finzent through the middle. I mean, this good old-fashioned strokey spam coming in once again. And the T60s up close are just really deadly. And for the fourth mountain, you don't really get a lot of armor. I believe you get some captured French tanks, some Panzer IVs. It's really it. For the most part, you're pretty much relying more on anti-tank, I'd say, for more dedicated anti-armor aspects.
Well, we're also seeing down to the south an IAR-81 CVB. Could not tell you for the life of me what kind of plane that actually is, but we're going to see some rather light bombing run going on down here to the south. Maybe he's going to get the car? Nope, never mind.
Nope.
A piece of me actually was laughing also because we have these Breda 47 mils down to the south. Which, I mean, from a penetration perspective, not so great, but I'm mildly amused by the, let's say, dual-purpose machine that we have, operation that we have down there.
Yeah, it is a weird piece because it's actually in the support tab, but you could argue it's more of an anti-tank gun, but it's not really good at either. It's just cheap and it has a decent fire rate. You're really just paying for the fire rate.
Well, I was going to ask too. Is that like, do I really want to have something in my tab where I have to argue that it's one thing or the other? You could argue it's an anti-tank gun, but you know,
yeah, it's confused.
It's really more of a greeting card, like.
Like the whole argument whether the Stug should be in the tank tab or not.
And the answer to that is, of course not. They are assault guns pure and simple. It's in their freaking name.
Yeah, so it should be in the assault gun tab. We need to make a new tab con just for assault guns only.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now, one thing is kind of interesting down to the south. The front line kind of folded slightly, but we have these Daytonutis kind of going around the front lines here. And these guys, just to continue talking about things in terms of ersatz trooping, they're ersatz trooping with Molotov cocktails.
Yes. Which means they're pretty good. Like a nice, beefy squad that takes a long time to kill, but the problem is that to use the Molotovs, you have to manually micro them up close, and as you see right here, with just a regular attack move, they're just going to stand still and shoot with their boat actions.
Which is not going to go well as the IL-2 just blows them to smithereens.
Yeah, oh, they do have the, it's like the Mannlicher 95, so I believe it has a faster rate of fire compared to other boat actions. So they're pretty good boat actions, is what I'm trying to say.
Mildly, yeah. The damage per second is slightly up, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. It's more just like rate of fire. Same thing like the Enfield shoots slightly faster in the car.
Yeah, but that's been proven almost by science that the SMLE was brutally effective. Now, 358th, of course, not what you think of when you have a tank division, but when you look at the 4th Mountain and not really having tanks, we definitely have the possibility for this Pack 38 of having to do a little bit of extra workload. Well, it gets 1 kill already, so well done, sir.
Yeah, hopefully, we're seeing a B, or not B3, but a B2
yeah.
coming in with one of its 30 mils. Not... Okay, it's like alright penetration. Should be able to kill T60s. The T34s might be a bit more of a tricky customer. Yeah, it can only really tickle T34s frontally.
Well, I'll tell you what's not going to tickle. Billy Ilkin over here, unless he gets taken out, which is possible. He's smoking right now, so we could see the death of an ace before he kills the... Nope, never mind.
Oh, god damn. I find it so hard to use ducks in this game. Flying ducks, that is. Not the American ducks.
Well, and I find it even more difficult that I'd be shooting... not for nothing, I'd be hard targeting that ace unit. Even if I lose, at that point I have the prestige of knowing that I killed Bilyukin.
Yeah.
Or get.
But it definitely seems like in the middle... Romanian, I mean, hopefully in B phase he does have some of those Panzer IVs because he really needs to kill those T-34s, so it's starting to be a bit of a pain.
Heck, even the T-60s are causing a bit of hassle.
Yeah, and just the amount of strokies in that town, I think he's going to need a little bit more than just what he has. Definitely a lot more than what he has to try and roll it out. Or maybe Romanian will have to play on the flanks. I mean, the southern flank is looking alright for him. He's still holding on to part of the hill, and up north it's still pretty contested. You know, he is starting to make a push onto the opposing hill.
No, but I think he's making the right call. If you look to the middle, he's got a couple of recruiti over here just to kind of stem the bleeding. He's bringing in, another Panzerfaust team. P4 now, it's Phase B, so there's the first real tank. First couple of tanks, now one coming to the north, coming in as well. One thing he's got to watch out for is this mortar team that just has one-shotted one of his anti-air positions.
Yup. And yeah, this mortar continues to fire and get some pretty decent hits. He's out of ammo, but I believe it'd be pretty easy for him to get some more ammo. Right now, yeah, Finzent's bringing in a 210mm artillery piece. He has to definitely do a pretty good job of hitting that rather exposed static gun position.
I'm mildly amused to see what happens when the P4 gets to the fray, but knowing the P4, let's say, operational history on this game, I suspect it's going to be very quickly turned into a candle.
Yeah. I feel the same way. Like, with Panzer IVs compared to T-34 76s, or 85s, whatever, I just feel like kind of rubbish for the most part. I never really have good experience with the Panzer IVs. I usually just either spam, just get heavy tanks like Panthers.
Oh, Lazar Muntau over here. Wow, no, I've completely butchered his name. But once again, I apologize, but I actually forgot that they have a Hero B2 unit coming on in.
I like the Romanian version of, who's the Stuka guy?
Oh my god, you're right.
It's gonna kill me not knowing his name.
Just the anti-aircraft fire kills him every single time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not the run in Hartnick, but like the run on the Western Front. But it's not in any of the games. Hans Rudel?
That sounds right.
I'm gonna go with that. Someone in the comments can correct us, as usual.
Probably Rooster.
Yeah.
We've been overdue for a Rooster knowledge bomb, so. Actually, Rooster, I'm giving you the personal mission of going after and telling us everything we didn't want to know, but I'd actually be kind of fascinated to know that. Now, interestingly, up to the north, we have a lot of Sherners being brought on in, and Bilyukin over here is going to shepherd the other Yak into killing that really, really long Romanian fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, once again, Finzent's done a really good job of keeping the airspace under his control. I mean, just having the constant airplanes flying around is definitely helping out.
Well, and it's currently 13-11 in favor of Finzent, but we're seeing whispers of counterattacks here and there, like down to the south. A lot of recruiti over here, a lot of Romanian airsats just kind of walking point, and the Pioneers coming behind. Gebalterledungs, they have the machine guns, they have all the SMGs. Like, this could actually be a quite fearsome force, unless they get bombed into smithereens, which is entirely possible.
Yeah, we got some Avtos coming in, but they're not really that great. If the Pioneers can get a satchel charge out, well, they do have 2-star veterancy, but we'll see what happens. And a who can shoot who first scenario.
I think this is a quantity has a quality all of its own.
Oh.
Like right now, the autos are setting up, and they're just barely out of seeing each other. Oh, that's got to be a bit of a heartbreaker.
Maybe Finzent knows I'm trying to get him in the flank, but the thing is, it's barely just cannot see each other.
Well, he found that officer pretty quick.
Oh, that's a good kill, though, because that brings down all the guys down 1 star, so it's definitely mopping them up a little bit of an easier task.
And that's you see right now, the 2 Automochiki squads are like, oh shoot, they just fragged Bob. Okay, now we gotta go.
Not Bob!
It's a highly popular name back during the 30s for many Russian men. There's a piece of me that's kind of wondering in a very perverse sense how popular the name Ivan was back in the 50s and 60s in the US, and if anyone was named Ivan beforehand.
Probably in the US pretty low. I think for the whole McCarthyism, people wouldn't want to be named Ivan.
Well, exactly. Or it's like Adolf. No, no, not Adolf. But down south, it is really turning in the favor of the Romanians. Not simply, but it is slowly turning in their favor.
Yeah, it's looking pretty decent for them. I mean, Romanian cemeteries managed to keep just bringing out all of Romanian infantry. That'll probably be in cemeteries pretty soon. But yeah, it's really going to come down to the flanks. The northern flank is still not looking all that great. Romanian hasn't managed to push onto the other hill, so it's really coming down to the south. If he can capture southern side completely, he could then use it to try and hook around up north and maybe flank into the town, but just looking at the town position right now, yeah, you're just not getting in there. It's way too much Russian infantry.
Well, not to try to give it a glass half full moment here, but neither has he been pushed off to the west though either.
Yeah, that's good. He's managed to hold on to his little foothold, and that's pretty important. If you lose that foothold, yeah, you're really not getting into the town anymore, because you just have a huge open space between you and the big town. And we've got a bit of a furball, Yaks and Messerschmitts going at it.
But it feels more like one of those like air shows where they're trying to show you how close they can get without actually. So it's like the airplane version of counting coup.
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Recruities and Pioneer are actually going to push back this out to Machiki. The Recruities will probably buy it, but that isolates the southern flank quite considerably.
Yeah.
Actually, yeah, that's gonna flip the flag there.
Yeah, and you're seeing some of those autocannon half-tracks being brought in to help out. You only get like one card of them, I believe, but they're very useful in a fight like this.
Well, ME-109 G2 is going to get blown to shreds. Ooh, ISU 122. I didn't even see the ISU come on in. This is going to be interesting.
Yeah, you don't have a lot of direct anti-tank weaponry. It can really deal with the ISU, as the Romanian Japan Force can have a pretty tough time. I believe you get like one card of Pack 40s, and that's really it. I mean, your best bet is probably just artillerying it to death or using like Lazar.
Well, Lazar, I imagine, is going to die pretty quickly, as this IL-2 is going to come in and kill everything.
Up and it's no idea down south.
And Lazar apparently needs to get his glasses checked.
You just really hate that patch of grass.
Yeah, clearly. It's like, dude, you know, sod is good for you.
Mm-hmm.
If you really don't like it, just tell the sod off. And thank you. That did not deserve a joke. You're absolutely right. I did not deserve a laugh. Thank you. I appreciate you keeping me honest. But the ME-109's coming in to try to clear that up a little bit more.
It was worth an attempt.
Oh god, it was bad. It's okay though. But the B2, actually, it's worth noting the B2 has no turret whatsoever. Yes, it has some forward-facing guns, but it actually has no self-defense whatsoever.
No.
So the ME-109s have to keep it safe.
I'm really surprised he's still alive. As IL-2, I mean, one of the IL-2s is rep and jammed, and the other one is trying to catch up, but he's not doing that great. Oh.
So it's a battle of
yeah.
the aces. And I think he just activated his trap card. Oh, okay. Alright.
Holy crap, Lazar's pretty tanky. It must be at, like, hero buff, even though that isn't a thing. Or let's pretend it is.
But you know, at the same time, first of all, he's going to the wrong side.
I like how he's bringing in a recon B129 to try and shoot down Belunkunya. I see.
That's all he's got.
Not really much of a fighter plane now. He's just running into the M17, and he's probably going to go down. Nah, there goes Lazar.
Lazar is one of those things. You're right. He's tanky, but you know, like to kill something, you must become like it. So to kill tanks, you must become tanky. That's how that works.
Yeah. So he became a tank, but he's not going to be operational for any time soon.
No, that it's usually pretty hard to sell the farm after you bought it. So, but at least he got a couple kills to the south. He got at least one T-34. Not enough to really justify the cost, but something.
Yeah, it's something. Like I said, those 129s are really hard to use. Especially the ones with only 30 mils, so you can't just come in cleanly in the front and get a kill. You have to actually flank around and try to get side shots for the most part. And as we're seeing here, Finzent just setting up the really good air power. Like, nothing's going to come through. I think for the rest of the match, Romanian won't really have... I mean, it's going to bring in the fighters, but it's going to be an uphill battle. We'll try to clear the skies.
I'm sorry, I'm watching down south the Battle of the Broken Hearts between a Cherno and a Recruity. And I don't know whose heart's going to get broken first or shot. You know, that's kind of an iffy question either way. but it's kind of fascinating to watch disheartened troops fight disheartened troops.
Yeah,
I don't know why. There's a weird sort of
you
poignant
never
moment
really
there.
see it that often.
We actually, this P4 actually going into the forest as well.
Oh.
So this is really strange.
I like it, if he can get to the other end of the forest, he can ambush stuff as it comes up as a resupply reinforcement.
Yeah, but this kind of reminds me of the whole like Spartan thing, where it's like if we do your thing, and it's kind of like if. So I don't know. Biluka gets taken up by a mobile wagon.
Oh wow! Oh wow! So she's like some good anti-air now from Romanian. He definitely needed it out a little bit earlier, but at least he has it now because yeah, it goes 2 Cobras.
Well, the 250 Mark 9s are going to get engaged by the T-34s, and the P4 is only firing your machine gun. That's an interesting moment there.
Mm-hmm.
But this is waffling back and forth, and a great part of that's been happening because of this northern side here. I didn't even see this, but we had T-60s behind the front line, very briefly controlling all 3 flags on that northern slope of Horoshice.
Yeah. They're not going to control anything anymore, but they're still in a very deadly position. I mean, anything that comes around at a corner is pretty much just going to get blasted by autocannons.
Yeah, and I don't know why these...
Jump!
Yeah, get out!
Oh no, that's
Parker! Okay. Whoa, that was very generous of him.
They're too fast for the turrets. Turrets couldn't aim in time, it's pretty funny.
I legitimately thought we were going to have one of those, like, Saving Private Ryan moments.
Mm-hmm.
But, no, I was disappointed there. Well done. Actually, it'd be fascinating to know. Can someone please translate literally word for word what some of these infantry are? So we have, you know, of the mountain, we have, I think Diflakari is of flames? I couldn't really tell you, but it seems like it's very artistic titles here, so...
Yeah, it is. I'm an annunciator of flames.
Is that what
my
it
flame
is?
thrower. No, that's what I like to pretend it is.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case.
Yeah. Here's my flamethrower. Shh.
Kind of funny, by the way. Look down to the south.
Mm-hmm.
We have a Strokey chasing a P4.
1 P4. Oh no. He got flanked and he died, surrendered. Kind of both.
He died doing what he loved, brewing up.
It's 47 mil. Like, it's not really killing the T-34s, but it's keeping them under constant pressure.
Yeah, but he's got no AP shells left. He's got 7 HE shells, and frankly, all he's done, he's not even door knocked. He's like been throwing pellets at them and hoping that they get ticked off enough to shoot at him.
Hmm.
Also worth noting, to the north, this ISU 122 is probably going to get engaged by this Infanteristi. And not for nothing, he might get close enough. It's a highly unlikely, but it's possible.
Oh. Definitely wanted that one guy extremely dead. B2 coming in, not really doing anything, but it's a pretty good push here from Finzent by capturing this northern hill position that pretty much secure him some pretty easy flags.
It certainly will do so. And yeah, that... Oh, the ME-109s. Mildly amusing that these ME-109s, the Yaks are way too slow to even engage them. So the ME-109s, they spent more time, I think, just flying in circles.
Yeah, it seems so. B2's coming in, as the other planes are distracted with the 109s, and even another 129 coming in to try and shoot down the IL-2. It's actually quite surprising seeing both sides use this much air power in a match. It's usually when you cast matches, only one side really using air power and the other side just relegate to setting up anti-aircraft net to rival Berlin.
Absolutely. But at the same time, though, too, like, there's another kill. But that's been kind of a consistent thing no matter what, though, too.
Mm-hmm.
If there's air power at all, other than the occasional carpet bomber, that went out because people said that air wasn't as efficient, price-wise, as off-map. Which, I guess you can kind of make the comment about it, but 4th Mountain, if memory serves, they don't have a ton of off-map, do they?
I don't believe so, but they do have a lot of airplanes. Like, that's one nice thing for all the Romanian divisions, is they've got some pretty good airplane options available to them, so you definitely want to be using that to try and edge your advantage.
T-60 is taking out P4 down to the middle, gun jammed. Yeah, this is going to be embarrassing. You should never let a recon tank take out main battle tanks.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know, it's P-Forces, I mean, it makes sense, they don't have the best armor layout, but they die so quickly when they're caught out in the open. It feels more like using tank destroyers than actual tanks with how the armor is set out.
Mm-hmm. That's the whole thing. Like, made the comment about Stokes, I think it was on Tuesday. But it's really hard for me to kind of consider P4s and Stokes to be in the same kind of category together.
Mm-hmm.
One actually does pretty well. Yes, you have to use it appropriately, but one does pretty well, and the other one's a P4.
Yeah. I also think it's also, like, just due to availability, because the Russian T-34-76s, like, yes, at long range, you're going to lose out to P4s, but they're not going to fight you at long range, and at a close range battle, the T-34s usually win due to numbers, and they're just a little bit cheaper. So I know it's just it's a weird dynamic. I can't really put my finger on it, but it's interesting to say the least.
Wait, are you claiming an allied bias?
No.
Oh, okay, cool. All right, just want to make sure.
Yeah, like down south, like Romanian's meant to hold on to the Southern Hill Forest at least, but he hasn't really been able to make any more progress. That's kind of understandable, because the enemy spawn point is extremely close. But he really needs to, really capture one of these flanks fully and make a major breakthrough. Because, I mean, the middle is still not budging, especially with even more Chernos being brought in.
The weird thing for me is I feel like a lot of the Romanian material is cheap, but it doesn't do anything. Like, I'm watching a 75 mil anti-air pound a building, and the Strokey's kind of like, yeah, I'm a little bit nervous, but not super freaked out.
Yeah, it's a pretty like the Vickers 75 is alright. Kind of like it's another one of those like Flak 88. Well, not every
knockoffs, yeah.
Not knockoff, but like you kind of use it in the same way as a Flak 88.
Oh, you mean the dual purpose, to use the term that we have here?
Yeah, like heavy anti-aircraft gun.
I think I meant knockoff, not even in a inherently flippant way, but I'm sure that's exactly how it came out. But just the idea of it doesn't have the same kind of power. And I don't know if that was just a Romanian thing overall, if that's just been kind of being reflected in the game, so I don't know. But more Strokies to the north, and it's shockingly enough over 12-12, and I think that is a consequence really of the Detenuti down south in the Möbelwagens.
And up north.
To a certain extent. I'm sorry?
Up north, he's managed to get to the other hill. Oh, you're absolutely
right, yes.
It's actually a pretty major breakthrough here. I mean, it's only a minor breakthrough right now, but if he can just hold on to that little foothold on the hill, you can get more reinforcements there, and he's doing that with some Panzer IVs, and he's got the air power, so this could work for Romanian. Maybe he won't have to, keep digging graves in the cemetery.
Well, he's going to continue digging graves if he keeps going around to the south, as opposed to trying to engage and lock down that road to the first place.
Yeah. I think at this point he really just needs to divert all forces up north and try to make this happen. Because, the south is... Finzent is starting to get those reinforcements in, those Chernos, those Strokies. If he can capture the southern hill, it's going to be another flag under his control, and he can start taking Romanians' points down, as we're seeing right now.
Skoda came in with the anti-air piece. Now, there's some tentative attempts to maybe take back the center town here, even as we have 4 more half-tracks being brought on in. With the auto tracks there. I don't know that this will successfully come out to be a pleasing result, let's say.
Yeah.
In fact, I'm pretty sure this is not going to be good at all, but we'll see what goes on.
Our down south Panzer IV is moving through, but seems like they're going to ambush at close range by some T-34s. I actually managed to engage fire first because the T-34 engaged the mobile wagon.
And mobile wagon, I think, is the same kind of thing as a 20 mil in terms of just its, let's say, potential for deadliness. But it might have just been, a health kill at the same time too. Who knows?
Yeah, it can stress out a T-34 efficiently-ish, but it's not. I mean, don't rely on it on killing tanks, of course. But the Panzer IV push down south could. I know it's a 45 mil here, and at close range, he should get some pretty good hits.
Yep.
Yeah. The Panzer IVs are glass cannons. Really good guns, but glass cannons nonetheless.
Then he needs to drive towards it. I was just say, okay, he's trying to use it to spot for the mobile wagon, so the mobile wagon's going to engage. Okay, I can understand that, I guess.
Yeah, and look at that mobile wagon go, and
Up
look
in
at him
flames.
dies.
Ugh. But even then, let's see, we have. Yes, sir, go for it.
Yeah, just up north, we're seeing another little armoured push here, some autocannon half-tracks and P4s. Gonna be stressing out this 2 yeah, which is a pretty big kill, so maybe this could be the flip side here for Romanian. He doesn't really have much infantry support though up north, and that's what he kind of needs.
Shockingly enough, the P4 took out all of its immediate attackers. Unfortunately for the P4, he can't see F-all, so...
Yeah, it's definitely a tank behind enemy lines now. But there's another anti-tank gun, yeah.
he's just gonna line up right by the building, and that'll be enough. At that point, yeah, there we go. I cannot argue with that positioning on that one. That makes good. That's a good position right there.
Yeah. Now Romania needs to bring up some reinforcements to try and relieve that P4. The Stroke's in a pretty good ambush position. But yeah,
ISU-122 goes down from a B2-R2.
Oh wow.
And the R2-B2 over here is going to go down pretty quick itself, I imagine. Oh no, the ZSU's out of ammo. Wow!
Lucky bugger! Holy crap! He's just been, blasting away all match. He forgot to get any supplies. Same with his 82 mil. He really could, get some supplies for that.
Yeah, I mean, to paraphrase the god that is Coolio, he's been blasting and laughing so long that even Stalin thinks that his ammo is gone. So, been spending most of his life living in a communist paradise.
God damn it, can't just be caught dropping sick bars in the middle of a cast like this.
Well, it's one of those things. Like, you know what? That would deserve it. I had to earn it back, man. Some of the earlier was real duds, so I had to do something. More infantry being brought in the center, and this actually might be a resurgent Romanian cemetery. He might be thinking he wants to live, which is a shocking thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because to the north, we have... It's
Holy
not going to
crap.
be easy. If it happens, it's not going to be easy. But maybe, just maybe, we'll see a shutdown of that supply point.
Yeah, if he can...
That would be absolutely huge.
Yeah, if you shut down that northern supply point, like, the next supply point down south is very far away. And you can pretty much just lock down that hill end, but I want to see it happen because it's already a fun thing. But he has to kill it just free first, because if he just rushes his armor now, he's just going to get blasted by the anti-tank. And the infantry, if they get close.
Well, more braided guns are being brought on in to the north. Okay. He's going to start to try to push in and start pinching off this pocket to the west. It is 12-12 still, consequence of the P4 down to the south finally going down, and the infantry really kind of rocked back on its heels.
Yeah. Yeah, just this town push here, it's going slow from Romania. I mean, it has all his mountain troops and infantry troops trying to push on through. It's just a, kind of a slog between Strokies and Romanian infantry, but if he can... I have a feeling he can do this. I have a feeling.
I have many feelings, but I'm not sure whether or not it might be like indigestion, because so far it's been a little rough. My heart keeps getting broken, and I want to believe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
By the way, is this to the north did in fact go down?
I know. This is I mean, of course we have Godfuser, we know it's nothing else, yeah, so... I mean, Romanian does have the autocannon half-track, yeah, Recon Optics, so he must know, he must figure it out. He needs to make that crazy rush happen. He might just be content with defending that flank, which also works. More of a safer play.
Yeah, he's definitely doing it that way.
Flanking a little bit, from north down south, getting that one barrel farm area of the mountain troops here, so if you can set up some more things up north, like some anti-tank guns, you could potentially start slacking into the town down south.
So that would be possible.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Cherno's behind their lines.
Oh,
but yeah,
cool.
1311. And yeah, okay, so Studebaker's going to refill the ZSU.
Finally.
Would now be terrifying again.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, the ZSU's 2-star because it's near a commander, not because it's a 2-star base unit. Sneaky commander.
Actually, he's got to been there since the beginning of the match.
Mm-hmm. A pretty classic play of getting in that commander early on to give you the extra veterancy. I mean, it's very worthwhile. Oh, I mean, they nerfed the price 125 points, but it's still a very good unit to have.
Also, in the meantime, some of the 358th is starting to dry up a little bit in terms of just it feels like raw manpower. I have not seen the same kind of infantry columns that we had seen previously.
Yeah. I mean, with a Vanguard income of these sorts of divisions, you can still take a good amount of C-phase infantry, and you're probably going to, because most games usually last till C-phase anyway. But it does feel to be the case here for Finzent. He is still holding on well in the town, but that northern push and that southern push is really starting to put a hamper in his points.
Well, we're going to see the 250/9 is just going to hop on down, try to find the artillery position at least. And I don't think these Strokies are going to get there in time. I think we... Oh, no. Never mind. Okay. I thought he had AP for a second, but no.
Oh,
so this is a race against time.
He only has machine guns.
Yeah, it's a wet noodle contest for sure,
yep.
But...
Thankfully, that Morsa can't aim directly. Or like with AP. I mean, he doesn't have AP. I don't think he can even shoot HC that close. But the Strokies here, and they're gonna give the SDKFZ a nice little present.
Well, he got him down to half strength.
Yeah. Yeah, if he had the cannon ammunition, he probably could have got the kill here, which would have been pretty big.
Right now we have some crazy territory control also over here by this Zisgun, who is just kind of shambling to the west. Picks up a flag in the middle of nowhere, so well done to him.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, this 129 is going to go after him, I think.
Yeah. It seems like Finzent has managed to stop that central town push, so he is still strong in the center, holding the crossroads. But it's really all coming down to the flanks now, and Romanian still has a lot of Romanian troops to push and attack with.
Well, and he's been clawing back control of this as well. He's going to lose this other duck here in a second. Oh no! The duck survives, and oh my gosh,
it's
2
gonna be
kills!
That was pretty slick.
Wait, and something killed the ZSU.
Maybe the B2?
Maybe.
Or the Pack 40, yeah, I think it might have been the Pack 40. Yeah, it's probably a Pack 40. But, it's well, not looking good for Finzent now. The Panzer IV up north now, moving in down south. That's going to get a very good position on enemy supply lines.
Well, that artillery position is going to get plastered in a second here as well. Here we go. And that's, well, what, 2,500 kilograms of bombs? Yikes. And that's an almost full truck, too, so not inconsiderable.
Nope.
Now, kind of interested to see if the P4 can keep a Strokey at bay. Yes, reverse, sir. Good idea. No, interesting. He's going after the reinforcing infantry. Oh, reinforcing our artillery positions.
You know, it's backing off. There we go. I think he had a hard time line of sight on the Strokey just coming up the hill.
He's have a harder sight and a harder chance of him surviving that if he doesn't
Mm-hmm.
pull back, though. I guess down to the south, last major, let's say, gasp of life, as the Venatori are going to engage 2 squads of Automachikis and a Zisgun. That I feel like is a major consideration here. These Automachikis go down. With, oh, okay.
Backing off.
Withdraw to the east. I understand that too, I suppose.
Yeah, I think he wants to try and get those Automachikis out in the Lake Forest, where they have the range advantage.
Also, I think, by the way, as a Pack 40 got brought on in, I think that would have been the individual to blame or to congratulate for the kill down to the south.
Yep. He's an ass. I mean, it's a very exposed position for the Pack 40, but his firing arc down south is pretty decent.
Oh no, it's totally worth it.
Yep.
And these Chernows, oh my god, these poor Chernows, they get dropped off in the town. Here comes more bombing, and one of them's gonna die at least.
Yep.
Okay, I'll take half. That's fine.
It's still constant air power from both sides 40 minutes into the match. I really do love seeing this amount of airplay being used. But we got Finzent actually doing a pretty good push here down south here of his Chernos, managing to capture the other hill flag, and almost getting an encirclement on the Vanatoris, but they're raiders, they don't care.
Also almost laughing at the fact that he's basically mortaring his own troops. But here's one of the smallest engagements that really matters, is we have this Zisgun and this P4 engaging each other, looking along the main arterial. That goes down, but just bit by bit, it's been death by 1,000 cuts here.
Yeah.
And I'm really quite surprised. Any strategy that depends on disheartened troops to really kind of hold territory, you know me, I'm super skeptical of that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think at this point, yeah, Finzent is starting to run a little bit low because he's just getting those Chernos out now. Or Romanian still has a lot of his mountain troops left.
But hey, I mean, if you're playing a flatline game, you might as well just wait until the end. If you can stave off material until then, you might as well do it.
Yep. And the town fight is starting to look a little bit better here for Romanian as he's picking off Finzent's infantry one by one. He hasn't actually got into the central part yet, but once he captures that town, that's a huge amount of flags, and already it's 9:15. It's not looking very good for Finzent. 8:16.
There's a time joke there for that, but you know what? We can't pull back the curtain on it. 16:8 though, so yeah, it gets more and more dire. So Finzent was keeping those Romanians. They were reeling back and forth like a punch-drunk fighter, but the center of the town is now blue.
Yep.
And now we have a couple brave strokey squads at the Comarotti, and other than that, it's not looking pretty.
Nope.
I can't help but feel we're probably going to see a tap real soon about this. Yep, there we go.
There we go. There we go. Really close on kills. Only a 200 difference.
But I think a lot of that, too, is we're going to see a lot of air power dying. So, I mean, yeah, see 2 Ju-8017 off the first page. More of those IAR-81Cs. Bill Yukon over here was an ace again, killing 5. If
he kills another ace, does that make him like a super ace? Does that like quantify the kill by 5?
5 squared. That's an excellent question. I couldn't tell you for sure. Artillery piece, actually really well done there. Yeah, I mean, biggest things are not. A lot of these troops are just not trading efficiently on both sides, really.
Really came down more to the armor play and the air power, most importantly. Yeah, losses, some pioneers, and some of the mountain troops do pretty decent, but a lot of the real big, big killers are the armor and air power. Yeah.
But it was a hell of a welcome to the Romanians. I'm actually really quite pleased with how that went. Kind of fascinated to see how they continue to play. It looks like they can do a lot of different things. Maybe not with your anti-tank guns, but...
Yeah, the infantry, it's not like German infantry. You got, STGs and, crap tons of semi-automatic rifles. but they're pretty like decently equipped for the most part, considering the amount of numbers that you can get of them. So it balances out. But yeah, and also just really good use of air power from both sides, mind you. It's love seeing that air power play.
I agree. I absolutely agree. But folks, I think that's going to do it for us today. We got one more cast kind of, I think, lined up for this coming weekend. So as always, until next time, I'm Conal Work.
I'm Rangaroo, take it easy.